What up? Episode 21 of 84 Feet with Katie and Cap is on the air. I'm Brian Katie, the loud, obnoxious voice you hear for Section 2 of New York State girls tournament basketball games. That's Albany Academy head varsity coach Brian Capitula. Yeah, what's up, brother? With the Georgia Bulldogs hoodie going on. What's up?
Got to represent Georgia. Can't be an Alabama household. They wouldn't be allowed in the door. So, go dogs, number one. That's the first thing.
Why the anti-Alabama sentiment? Not that I care, but I'm just wondering.
I mean, Georgia, Alabama. It's that SEC rivals. They're obviously in two different divisions in the SEC, but you can't like Alabama and Georgia.
Where does the Georgia come from, though? Where does Georgia come from, though? Why Georgia?
So Terrell Davis was a Georgia running back, and I'm a fan of the Broncos. And then if you want to go back farther, like Rodney Hampton played for Georgia, who obviously was a big-time Giant. But I think Terrell Davis was the start of it, I think, being like from Georgia and then being a Broncos fan as a little kid. So
fair. Okay.
Now they're good. So now it's like, oh, front runner. Well, I'm not an Ohio State fan. Those are the front runners if you see any.
It's not like you rolled out of bed one day at like age 20 and decided, I like the color red. Who's a good team in the color red? All right,
I hate red. I don't. This is the only thing I own red, honestly. But
you're a weird cat. Anyways, to business we go. We did have news since our last episode. That would be the commitment. Caleb Ladoin is going to SUNY Oneonta State, whatever you want to call it. It's the same damn thing. First off, good job, John Artizone. Nice recruiting. Good job on him. Former St. Rose assistant, now over there at Oneonta. But secondly, did it move as quick as it felt like with her commitment, or was it just something where she had been sitting on for a while and just decided to make the decision before she started her senior year?
No, it was a long process, I think. Like Oneonta's been in the gym. I think they really kind of connected to her through the high school season. And like you said, John does a really good job of connecting with the kids and getting around them and being a local area. Like he can get to the practices, he can get to games, he can make sure his face is seen. So, but no, I don't think it was a super quick process. I think it was weighing all her options and other schools that she could have possibly went to and what fit her and where she wanted. So I think Oneonta has a really good vision of where they think they can use her and how they're going to use her. And she really liked the campus when they went, and mom and dad were happy that she's not too far from home. So it just made sense. Like we said before, if it don't make dollars, don't make sense. So
yeah. Hey, Oneonta. All you got to do is just hop on the thruway to I-88.
Yep.
A nice, quick drive.
Always construction, though. They have been doing construction since probably 1980 on that road.
And 88 still sucks. So
no tolls, though. It's toll-free.
They must be doing something other than constructing on that highway the last 35 years. I don't tell you. I'll leave it to the imagination what you think they're doing, but whatever. They're taking free tax dollars, I guess. That all being said, we have a packed house today. Not with me, usual setting. Not with Cap, his usual setting, with his Section 2 plaques and that's the decoration. Is that what it is behind you? I can't remember what that is.
That's the blueprints for the basketball court that got submitted.
Right, sure.
The patent office.
Right, whatever you say. Oh, right. Actually, no, we did talk about that. Anyways, so he's got his nerdy stuff behind him. I'm talking about the screen I'm about to put on the screen. We have a quartet of guests today. No, they're not going to sing for us like a barbershop quartet, although who knows? Maybe I'll get them into a song and dance by the end of the show. Mechanicville High School, a program that had a very interesting mixture of, I think it was 5 or 6 seniors, but also had a nice supplement of very young talent. They made it all the way to, if I remember correctly, the Class B finals against your Albany Academy, Cap. And now they brought on board a brand new head coach who is not unfamiliar at all to the program. So joining us right now, we have the new head coach, Mike Cavada, along with, make sure I got this right, from left to right on the screen. I'm sure I will be criticized if I got this wrong. But I know the one on the far right is L. Richardson, sophomore. The one on the far left, I believe, is Tanner Eisman, also a sophomore, and Molly DeSiena is between Coach and L. I got it right?
Yeah.
Let's go. Announcing 2 games for you last year worked out for me. Thank you. First things first, ladies, how's everyone doing? Is everybody cool? Is anybody nervous? Let me put it that way.
No, not really.
Elle, you're lying because I know your father said you're nervous, but whatever, we'll come back to that. Coach, I mean, let's just jump right into it. We'll get into how everything worked out with you getting the position, but as far as what you've seen since being named the official new head coach and workouts you've been having or whatever shoot rounds you've been having through the summer, how have things been going so far with the program?
Well, it was a long process at the end of the year. Coach Cooper stepped away pretty early, and then it was a process to figure out where the program was going to go. And I knew that I still wanted to be a part of it, just didn't know what direction the school wanted to go in. So once I got the job, we established a summer program. And, I mean, it's gone okay. We played 6 summer league games at Impact Center, which went well. We finished off the season pretty good last night. We were pretty happy with the results last night. We played in Niskayuna. Other than that, it's just been a pretty typical thing. I think we had 15 open gyms and 10 lifting sessions, and the participation's been pretty good. So we've been pretty happy in that sense. So I mean, for 2 months of work, that's pretty good for us. We're pretty happy, and these guys are getting ready for the fall season at this point. So we're going to give them the last week off and let them get ready for their fall season. They all play soccer.
That's great. Now, you guys, unfortunately, I had to deal with Mechanicville all through high school, playing against Mechanicville, playing at Waterville Elite. So I know what the Mechanicville games are like and kind of what the community is like around that area. And girls and Coach, you can talk about it too. But what is it like you guys? In terms of support in the community and things like that for the basketball program, what kind of support do you guys get constantly, either nightly or when you guys went through your run this year for sectionals? What is it like having community support and coming out and really kind of buying into you guys as female athletes and basketball players?
I think Mechanicville is like a big family. We're all there for each other, and it's very small. So, you run into people at the grocery store daily and stuff like that. So when we went far in sectionals, we definitely had the support we needed. And, we went to the gym every day. We would get just a lot of support, T-shirts made for us. Yeah, it was good.
It was nice seeing a bunch of people since Mechanicville is so small. It was nice seeing a lot of the stands crowded in Hudson Valley and how much people really came.
It just it brought up the energy. I feel like with their energy out in the crowd, it really brought more energy on the court for us to keep going.
I think that one of the things I remember about the run was, we went down to Greenville and we traveled really well. I mean, it was a far trip. We played the early slot. We got to watch. We stayed and scouted the second game. So it worked out really well for us. And if you really want my opinion, that was one of the best games that we played all year long. We were really starting to come together. We were really starting to take on our roles and things like that. So the Corinth game at Greenville High School was a pretty good for us. And then, of course, the Fonda game was the best game we played all year. That was super exciting, how it ended. And, we were just happy at that point to get there. And, then we had to get ready for Academy, which was, was going to be a daunting task.
All right. So I have a little bit of an icebreaker for all 3 athletes. So, Coach, unfortunately, we're gonna have you. Well, you can stay where you are, obviously, but put you aside for a second. I have to talk to all 3 of you about siblings. First off, Molly. I know if I did my homework correctly, did you have an older sister named Amy who played on the team before you?
Yeah.
Were there any other siblings I missed? Because I tried doing all my homework and I got cross-eyed on a little bit of it. So
Yeah, I have a twin brother. I have another older sister, and then a really old brother. But they never got into basketball. It was only me and my sister Amy.
so when you were growing up and you saw what Amy was able to do, what did that provide you a little extra motivation to want to take up the sport and push yourself to want to do more with it, or is this something that just kind of just flowed on your own for you as you were growing up?
Yeah, Amy definitely influenced me. Seeing how far their team went and seeing the excitement, it just made you want to be there one day.
And then let's see, Tanner. I believe you had two older brothers, Jacob and Tyler, who played. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Jacob, he was did he just graduate or is he?
Yeah, he just graduated.
Okay. All right. See, again, it's all Cap probably doesn't even know his own first name right now. But talk a little bit about your brothers and how they influenced you as you've been, figuring out what direction you wanted to go with your athletics.
Well, I think so. I would always go to the games and always would watch them. So Tyler liked basketball more and Jacob liked soccer more, but they both still played it. And I think that just pushed me to do both at the same time. But going to their games, I wanted to be better than them, so I tried to be better than them.
And then there's L. How should I ask this question? Who's the favorite member of your household, and why is it Alex Moses? I'm kidding. Do not answer that question. Do not, as a setup, do not answer that. But in all seriousness, Colin, obviously, football, basketball, baseball. He's going to be starting at Adelphi on a baseball scholarship, and then he made that crazy game winner against Hudson during sectionals, which I still vividly remember announcing that because Channel 10 couldn't stop playing it for a whole week. Talk a little bit about Colin and how he's pushed you, even though I know you can beat him in a game of horse. Like, how much has seeing everything he did and how much he pushed himself, because extremely hard on himself, and that's probably putting it nicely. Did he kind of share that same tenacity and attitude with you and how you should approach things?
Yeah, so ever since I was younger, I've been going to his AU games, watching him go to workouts, and just watching him has made me want to be better and honestly get better. But I think my biggest influence on basketball has been my dad and even my grandfather. They've always been trying to make me better, always giving me tips after games, even last night at our summer league game, yelling at me on the court and after. Colin has definitely also given me his input, nice or not nice. But I think honestly, the person who got me better and more into the sport was my dad and grandfather.
Now, Coach, this is questions for you since Brian hit the other three quick. You've been around the game obviously so long, have had a lot of success where you've been, whether it be assistant coach role or being a part of a program. How do you feel like things have changed, since you started coaching, which maybe you can explain when you started, but to now, what's the different kind of athlete there is now versus maybe even 10 or 15 years ago?
Well, I think athletically, as the game has evolved, especially women's sports has evolved, it's gotten better and better, faster. It's more entertaining. The 3-point game is a big part of it. There is more up and down. So again, that part of it I think has grown. But I think really the first time when I first got into this, I coached modified at April Park in the year 2000. I was under Coach June McGilfrey. And then she took over as the athletic director. And, the athlete back then was really dedicated. Kids at April Park were really, really dedicated. They really loved basketball. So, it was very passionate out there. And so it helped me become very passionate. And the first sectional winner at April Park, I actually got to coach as the modified coach. So I got to experience their parents and things like that. And then when Coach Organ took over, I started moving up the ranks. Like I went to we had freshmen, then I moved to freshman, and then JV, and then I became his assistant coach in the second year that he was there. So I mean, it's been a great experience in that sense. How's it evolved? I mean, I think the game has gotten way better. I think the game in Section 2 girls is a great opportunity for girls to get opportunities, like you're saying. Caleb Bodoin is committing to Oneonta State. That's fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of girls I know that have gotten into college. It's helped them get into college, have had success in college. And, you know, like the Donnelly girl was the leading, so I don't think she is anymore, but she was the leading scorer at Skidmore. I mean, I was in the program when she came through. She was fantastic, and she actually had a lot of potential. I actually thought she was a Division II player, but, you know, she went to Skidmore, and it was a fantastic fit, and she did really, really well. So, I mean, I just think the game has grown a lot. I think there's a lot of opportunities for girls to get better. And the competition has been fantastic. The coaching is great. I learned a lot from all the coaches in the Western League, the Suburban, you know, all those things. And, you know, I've had great mentors. I mean, Coach Gaversky was fantastic. He's a great guy. Coach Organ, Coach McGilfrey, and Coach Cooper. So it's been a great learning experience for myself.
You know, and Coach, you make a trick point about the competition. I want to ask the girls about this real quick. We'll start with Tanner and then work our way across, if you don't mind. Because Cap and I have talked about this many times. The amount of talent loaded up between now and, say, the class of 2027, 2028 is just remarkable, top to bottom, in just about every class you look at across Section 2. How much does seeing all that talent and the way it's been developing at the various schools around the area, how much does that push you guys even more to, you know, take the experience you had last year and to grow from it and maybe go further than you have in recent years?
I think it just, like, it shows that we have to pick it up more. Like, we can't, like, go there and just, like, think we're gonna win or like think we're gonna lose and like just play bad, or like I think we also have to play as a team. Like if we don't, then we'll get all like discombobulated and then they'll just break us down. So we just have to work harder and be faster and stronger and have more gut to go out and play.
The talent a few years ago for girls basketball was really, really good. They were really good to watch and fun. And as the years go on, you can tell that even in every school, in our school, that the size is much smaller and everyone's more like, I don't know, just not as tall and stuff. So seeing them like get through. I mean, there were some small girls, but it just makes us want to push even harder and become that team. Like seeing my sister and all of her teammates hugging each other when they won, it's like you want to feel that moment and like you try to do everything in your power from the start of the season to the end to get to that place where they were.
I think a couple of us thought that since we did so good last year that things were just going to be handed to us in this upcoming season, but I think this summer was a really good wake-up call during our summer league in the Impact Center, and I think it really made us realize that we do have to still put in all the off-season work. We still have to show up to the workouts, and it will pay off, but not doing anything isn't going to make us go anywhere.
Before we go any farther, just so you guys know, it's Molly and Tanner. You guys, when we were doing scouting reports on the two of you guys leading up to our game, I did not get nervous about both of you. So just so you know, like I was game planning for you two and how to stop these two, because if we don't stop these two, so you guys watching a ton of film and watching a bunch of games and doing things, you guys just, if you stay the course with what you did last year and you just keep progressing, like Brian doesn't like to say things, but I think obviously you guys are in the B now. We're not in the Bs anymore. But if there's a front runner, like I think you guys, obviously you have Stillwater who's in your own league, but I think you guys are not fun to play. Like watching you on film and watching you guys play tough. You're aggressive. You guys play with passion. You have fan support around you. So, like at least know that. Like, don't think I'm like the bad guy I apologize for the game. Someone had to win, someone had to lose, but
I mean, it was good. It humbled us. We needed to be humbled.
Yes. But we respected you guys for sure. So like know that we respected the heck out of you guys, and we talked about it all leading up to the game of how dangerous you guys really were. So just know that. But in terms of the three of you, and Molly, you can start first if you want. But do you have anyone like a coach or athlete that you look up to as a role model? It could be your own sister, but anybody that you kind of like will look up to of how to either play the game or how you're trying to get better.
Yeah, I definitely look up to my sister just because that's the only person I've been around like watching since I was really little. Just how aggressive she is and how she never gave up. Like sometimes I'm on the court and I'm like tired and I don't want to push any farther, but sometimes I think of her in the moment and I'm like, what would Amy do? She would keep playing. She would keep working hard. She would keep getting fast breaks. So she definitely pushes me to get better. And I'll be laying in my bed sometimes and she'll be like, you want to go shoot at impact, like just to get me moving because she knows that she was me once too and might have not put in the effort. So she does a lot to help me with basketball.
I would just like to say on Amy's point, she was one of the best two-sided players I've ever coached. She could play 1 through 5. She could defend 1 through 5. She was a great passer. She could see the floor. She could get the ball. She was a great offensive rebounder, great defensive rebounder. Molly's a much different player. Molly's a point guard, but Amy had a great handle for her size. She's one of those kids, Cap, you were asking about like how the game's evolved, like bigger players. Like she was a 3, 4, 5 when she was coming up, but she really used that to her advantage because she could get mismatches against teams and she could take advantage of them.
Sure.
And so she was a great player. I mean, they're different, but they're different kids. But I see a lot of Amy and Molly. So it was it's fun to coach sisters and see the comparison.
Oh, I know that. I would say I don't know which brother, but I'll just go both because like they humble me, but they also like help me. It's weird, but like it's hard like playing against them. Like I play against them, and it just makes me better. And I think with that experience, I like to put it on the floor. But then at the same time, if I do something stupid, they'll call me out on it and like they'll just like body me and absolutely destroy me. So I think that it makes me a better person. And that's something I look up to. It would make me better.
Elle, that doesn't sound like anything Colin would do at all.
So I definitely do look up to Colin for basketball. I even stole his number, 24. Just watching him play throughout the years and the feeling of him winning, he would honestly do anything to win. He would love to win the games, and the buzzer beater versus Hudson, just the feeling, everyone was so excited and the crowd was just crazy. Just like makes you want to do it too, and just gives me like more encouragement to work harder and be as good as him.
I also want to say my teammates definitely push me too. I think all of us are friends on the court and off the court, and team chemistry and bonding is probably the best thing to do during basketball season.
Sure.
And when you have a good team and you guys are all friends, it really does help your chemistry on the court because you can yell at each other and just rub it off your shoulder and be like, whatever, like it's not taken to heart.
Yeah, in some practices, some games
We
get
go
a
at
little
it.
rough because it's just like
It's competitive. We all want to be the best we possibly can, and we fight like sisters. So it's nice to have teammates like that.
I mean, as long as you don't fight each other like the Gaversky sisters used to fight each other, you're all set, right? We'll get back to the Gaversky family in a little bit, but I actually have a question for Coach, but I have to ask Elle something real quick. So in the midst of doing this, if I seem a little distracted, I've been texting somebody else within the Mechanicville High School family, and they verified for me because they initially said it, and then I want to make sure they were sticking to it. That they think you would beat Colin and your father in a game of horse. Who do you think would say that?
I don't know.
That would be Coach Alex Lilac from the boys varsity team. So, and I know Alex going back to when he played at Sage. So,
I don't know.
If he trusts your 3-point shot, who am I to question it, right?
Yeah.
Coach, I just wanted to discuss real quick about going back to the fact that, if I remember correctly, you're still teaching at Averill Park this coming school year, correct?
Yes, sir.
But then this still middle school, correct? Algonquin?
Yes, I teach 7th grade science. Yep.
Okay. So when the discussions were being had, because you mentioned it was a bit of a long process before everything got finalized with you officially taking over the program in Mechanicville, did you have any kind of conversations with Mark Budniak, the athletic director for Averill Park High, or Sean Organ, who you mentioned earlier in the program? Did you have any discussions with them to just kind of feel out, what their thoughts were, maybe get some guidance about way to go about certain things in the process? Any conversations like that happen with them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm really good friends with Sean. Our families are friends. My wife actually watched his 2 kids when they were growing up. So yeah, I'm really good friends with Sean. I've always been good friends with Sean the last 25 years. So he's someone I definitely lean on. And yeah, Mark is the Section 2 coordinator. I've been doing girls basketball for 25 years. So I mean, I kind of know the ins and outs of it. I just, always was been in the background. I haven't really been in the forefront to be I never really wanted to really be a head coach. So, I mean, I just felt like this was a good opportunity. The kids were very supportive. So, I mean, that's how I kind of got here. I mean, absolutely, I lean on all those people. I mean, there's great people at Averill Park. There's great people at Mechanicville. I mean, and you are who you hang out with. So,
Nah, don't brag too much about being friends with Sean Organ. No, Coach is a great guy.
Yes.
Now the 3 guys they're all getting prepared for soccer. Now, are you multi-sport athletes beyond soccer? Or are you just 2-sport athletes? Like, what do you guys? I don't know all you guys in terms of that stuff, but like, I know Tanner, you're a big soccer because I asked about it last year when I was at the Tamarack game, and I'm like, holy cow! Like, this kid is she plays soccer. Like, I don't know if you are committing more to soccer than basketball, but are you guys more soccer players than basketball players, or is it kind of an even split?
Well, I play soccer year round. So like I'm doing both during winter, like I'm in basketball season, but I also have like an indoor soccer season. And that takes me right into my spring season for soccer, which then takes me to summer and then fall. So it's year round. And then like basketball adds up into there. But like if it's basketball for school, like that's what I'm into at that point in time. So it's more like evening it out, but I would like to go for soccer, but I never take basketball out of my mind. Like I could always do both, but mostly I would like to do soccer.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the person who's like, I took a break from AAU this year because I just needed to get a break like everyone does.
Yep.
I'll definitely play next year, but I'm definitely more of a basketball person. But when it comes to school sports, it's obviously whatever season's in that time. So for right now, it's soccer season. So I'm definitely going to focus on soccer and be there for my soccer team because that's what the seniors would appreciate the most. But when basketball comes around, I'll be focused on basketball. So I like basketball more though.
I would definitely say I'm more of a basketball player than soccer player. I used to do competitive dance, and I was also doing AAU, and it was way too much. So I took a break from AAU, and I also stopped doing competitive dance about 2 years ago, and I haven't done any since. But I don't really focus on soccer that much. I just do it when it's in fall, and that's really all.
And then a quick question for Coach: how important? And you've been through, and I'm sure that you played multiple sports. Like, how important do you think it is to be a multi-sport athlete in high school and not really stick to one thing right away? Like, at what point would you say, like, all right, you're going to determine if you're going to play one sport or the other? Is there any point where you think, all right, I should probably give this up? Or would you encourage everyone to play as many as they can?
As many sports as they can. I want all of them to be active. That's something we talked about in the summer. I ask them all the time. I know what everybody is doing in the program, top to bottom, who's playing what, who's not playing, which I think we only have a very few kids that are not doing something in the fall. So it is extremely important to me. And, to be a part of the community, to stay active, it helps you academically, all those things. We believe in all those things, all those principles. The proof is there. So yes, I definitely encourage the kids to do multiple things. In the summertime, they're not really doing anything. So, expecting them to come to workouts and things like that is important, I think. And then, we've also talked about, it's the fall season, and then there'll be that 2-week dead period before winter starts. That's a very important time that we need to get into the gym to get started and then go from there. So we've discussed all those things. I mean, I do have some young players still, and just like you talked about, you got to kind of get them up to speed. But again, Molly and Tanner are 3-year players, so they kind of know the ropes and what we expect.
Before I get into the question I have for Molly and Tanner, this dancing stuff, does this mean you were up at 5 a.m. turning on Peacock and watching the break dancing at the Olympics a couple weeks ago?
Yes.
No,
absolutely.
it does not. I actually didn't really watch any of the Olympics.
Oh, man.
I didn't even know how to turn on the Olympics.
The U.S. women, if they were a country by themselves, would have been the third most medals out of any country. And you didn't watch any of the Olympics?
No, I didn't even know how to turn on the Olympics. I watched the men's game with my dad, but the men's
No U.S. soccer, women's soccer team?
That was a great game.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
At least the soccer kid watched the U.S. women's national team. Jeez, all right. Okay.
Well, the kid from Able Park made it to the Olympics again. Rudy Winkler.
Right.
I know in the preliminaries he was 4th. I don't know. I think he finished 7th.
Yeah, he finished like 6th or 7th in the hammer throw, I think it was.
Yeah, hammer throw.
But actually, Coach just made a great point, leading right into my question for Molly and Tanner. Having been third-year athletes at the varsity level in basketball, where do you see from when you first came up as far as and then up through this past season, personally for the two of you, the growth that it's taking to get used to the varsity game compared to, say, playing JV or a freshman or modified level, and what that was like initially when you guys did first come up a couple years ago?
I think it was more confidence. Like, if I get blocked, I'll be like down like in the beginning, but now I don't care anymore because it's just one play. But and then if I miss a shot, I feel like it really changed my mindset in the beginning. But now it doesn't really matter because I'll just get it back. But I feel like it's just more confidence and how you play and how you move around, and you get used to the speed. It was a big change from speed plays, but you just get used to it and you just get better at it. So I think it's just overall your confidence that you have with the ball and without the ball.
And just to make a note, Tanner did as 7th grader play modified, so she made a huge jump as an 8th grader. She didn't even play JV. So.
When I came up, I was humbled. You play with such young, I wouldn't say young because I was the same age, but you play with younger girls and then you jump up to varsity and it's wow, it's big girls now. You have to actually work. But I would just say when you move up, it's just all about confidence. When I was there, when I first got brought up, I didn't really talk to anyone. I was scared. I was trying to bring myself into conversations with the girls and just trying to make myself like welcome myself. But yeah, it's about confidence, I would say, like what Tanner said. You can't play a varsity level unless you have a lot of confidence. Like it's hard at most times, probably harder than it is like less hard. But yeah, it has improved. I have improved. I mean, I still get humbled and I still get scared, but you just got to move on and do better.
Let me ask questions. You're gonna All right, I'll go with a question. Before I get into fun questions, I'll ask one more, like I guess basketball serious question, and then we can get into the fun questions. But for all of you, and maybe one of you could answer, or maybe two of you can be spokesmen. But from last year's season, what would be one or two things from last year's season that you'd want to bring in to this year's season that you would hope that would carry over from last year?
I think like the determination from losing first round to then going to the finals, it really it was hard losing first round, like seeing everybody upset, and then like we keep going, like we make it again, then we're at the finals. You could just like see like the determination that everybody had to keep going, and I think I would like to bring that back, like bring it with us.
I would just say effort. Our effort last year was probably the best effort I've seen when I started playing basketball. We were all there. We all wanted to win. So if we bring that energy this year and do a lot of work, then we can get as far as we did.
I also think we played really well as a team last year. We were all able to see each other really well on the court, and I think our passes were really nice last year, and it made us a lot of easy points. And I think that is something we should also be bringing into next season.
Before I ask my next question, I want to make sure y'all don't think that I'm completely ignoring you. I'm nerding out a little because I have last year's sectional program and I have the 2020 sectional program. So I'm trying to figure out my next direction as I look through this real quick. This is for all three girls, actually, because I'm looking back at that 2020 team. You got Chloe Gaversky, who was a sophomore. Charlie Gaversky was a senior. Eventually went to St. Rose, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Jada Brown was a senior. She went to St. Rose for soccer.
She could have played basketball too. She could have played basketball there.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I know. Amy DeSiena, Gianna, your older daughter, Coach Riley Hopek was on that team. But that's not the important part I want to bring up to the three young ladies sitting here. Coach Gaversky, if you're sitting there in the stands in middle school and you're thinking about playing basketball in high school, was there a party that was like, that man's crazy? Because I wouldn't have blamed you at all, because Coach has a certain style to him, so to speak, and now the fact that he's willing to sit in the stands and not yell at referees for 32 minutes impresses me a little bit. Was there did that ever cross your minds, or like, that's a crazy man? I don't know if I can handle that.
Not really. I think he just had passion for everybody to do good. So I think that's just the way he showed it. I mean, by yelling, it like kind of scares you, but it doesn't make you want to stop playing. It just makes you keep going, I feel like.
What my parents always tell me is that if a coach just lets you play and lets you do what you want, you want a coach that yells at you and gives you tips and all that, because it shows that he sees a lot of potential in you, or whoever it is. It could be a girl, it could be a guy. I want my coach to yell at me and tell me what to do better, because I feel like when a coach does that, they see a lot in me and they see that I can give 10 times more than I'm giving. So it really doesn't affect me when a coach yells at me. I mean, sometimes I'm like, are you serious? Like in my head, but I get over it.
I'm going to second what Tanner said. I just think that it was the way he showed his passion. He had a strong will to win every game, and he was just trying to make all the girls on the court better. I didn't really.
And it probably doesn't help that you have a basketball coach, a former basketball coach, as your father. That probably didn't help at all either. That was probably more intimidating than whatever Coach Gaversky was doing. So that's, like, there were games where I watched him coaching the Mechanical Boys team. I'm like, this man, like, I think he's crazier than Coach Gaversky. That's his wild.
Yeah, no, he definitely was.
That's why Coach stayed tan, so that you weren't really sure how mad he was, because if he was really pale, you'd be able to see it. But he's a great guy. Like, I see him all the time from his son that played with the RAAU program. So, but what a great guy. So,
Absolutely. Second to none.
yeah. Now this is kind of like, I guess, a fun question, but and we can start with Elle. You can go first. But if you had an extra hour each day, how would you use it?
I would say.
I don't even know. Come back to me. Go to Tanner first.
Okay.
I'm gonna think about this one.
Probably sleeping, honestly. I don't think I get enough sleep, so I would just use it to sleep. I wouldn't use it for anything else, really.
Oh, my turn. Sorry. I would say go on a walk with my mom. If I just have a free hour, I like going on walks. So that's what I would do.
Recently I've been baking a lot of cookies and stuff, so honestly, if I had more time in my day, I would bake more things.
Not a horrible answer.
Sleeping, baking cookies, taking a walk.
In that order. You do it in that order.
I mean, sometimes we think about basketball in there too. Don't worry.
I mean, I say make the cookies, walk while eating the cookies, then take the nap after the walk.
That's it. We got a good plan.
Yeah. And then if you feel like it, maybe, Tanner can unglue the soccer ball from her foot and then play basketball. It's all good. Which reminds me, Tanner, because you mentioned how you play soccer year round. So, like, from October to March, are you like getting IV injections of electrolytes to make sure you don't faint, or what? Like that like the whole idea, because it's psychotic. So the idea of trying to play that full year round and then play hoops, especially at the level you play it, like I got nothing. I don't know. Like,
It's pretty impressive.
I would get to Thanksgiving and just be like, I'm good. I'm picking this one. Like, I'd be done.
Well, I think you just have to stay in shape, honestly. That's it. Like, you just have to, like, just work on everything. Like, even, like, if I don't have practices, like, Tuesdays and Thursdays, sometimes games on the weekends, so it's not that bad. So I do have, like, a lot of time off. But during basketball, since we are practicing, like, every single day, usually I don't go to soccer, so it kind of, like, just frees it up. But, like, I don't know. It's just, yeah.
I got a quick question for Elle. With your brother, like, obviously your brother makes that game-winning shot at the end. At any point, like, was he like, "Hey, look, I'm viral"? Like, I know that video ended up like that video blew up. Like, that video ended up on Huddle and ended up on Max Prep. Was he like, "Hey, I'm a viral sensation. Like, go make me a sandwich"?
No, honestly, he was never one to brag about the video, but my little sister, her name's Caroline, she was one to show everybody she saw it for the next month. She showed everybody. She reposted every single TikTok, every Instagram reel, everything. She bragged about it more than he did.
I'm still taken aback by the question. I got nothing. I don't even know what to ask at this point because that question. All right, Coach. I already we've mentioned obviously Coach Gaversky. We referenced Coach Cooper. But I just want to jump in and ask you about high school principal Mike Mitchell. He's great guy. Somebody I've had the fortune of meeting a few times. And AD Tom Berrigan. What's that relationship been like for you, and how much support that they give to the because Mike's constantly If he's not tweeting, he's Facebooking. If he's not Facebooking, he's looking for a TV camera to spread the word about Mechanicville. So, so talk a little bit about how much their support has been helpful to the program.
Well, Tommy's been very supportive over the summer, just helping me make sure the gym space and things like that. So Tommy's done a good job with that. We are still looking for a game or two. So if there's any games out there, we're definitely still looking for a game or two. So I wanted to shout that out. All right, so we can grab a couple more games if someone has them open on their schedule. And Mike Mitchell, I mean, he's just a really, really passionate guy. He loves Mechanicville, and he wants to promote it. He's got a lot of great kids, and he's got a great community, and he's not afraid to tell you about it. So that's what I think. He's very supportive of the girls program. He always has been. We beat Canton in 2020. And he was the first guy over the bench for Coach Kaversky and I, congratulating us and getting us whatever we needed. And he's always been like that. We also, another great night, I remember him coming in the locker room the night we ended Cambridge's 39-game winning streak. That team ended their 39 games in a row. And he was the first guy in the locker room. So he's a big supporter of the girls. So we're very happy to have him as a principal.
And if nobody remembers the 2019 or 2020 Cambridge girls teams, go look up the names and see what they're doing right now in college. Just putting that out there. Follow up to you, Coach. You mentioned we talked about how your older daughter Gianna played for Coach Kaversky, and now this is going to be your first season as the head coach for Mechanicville with your daughter Madeline, a sophomore, classmate with Tanner and Elle. What's the dynamic like? Because sometimes it can be a little tricky trying to balance being a father on one hand and then being a coach on the other hand. What's that like between you and your daughter, and how you feel like that could play out for you?
Well, the first thing is you have to have a great wife to balance that out. So that's the most important thing. She has to support you, and then she has to understand the balance between the coaching and the playing. But Maddie is a good kid. We need her toughness this year and her strength. So I'm interested to see how it goes. She is definitely the toughest kid I have in the family. I have 4 kids. She is the toughest kid I have. I think that's because she's the youngest. We have a great relationship. I mean, she knows when it's time to walk on the court that I'm the coach, and then we have a good relationship as father-daughter. I don't really see too many problems. It definitely took some growing pains with Gianna and I, but when Gianna became a senior, she knew her role, and it worked out really, really well. I mean, Coach Kaversky will attest to this. Gianna played a vital role in that 2019-2020 team. So she made some big shots, and she did a great job coming off the bench when we were in foul trouble. And, you got to have kids like that. And she played an unbelievable role. So.
And, of course, the youngest is the toughest. She puts up with all the crap from the previous 3. That's why she's the toughest one now.
Yeah, you got that right. You got that right.
Before I get into the way I like to close interviews recently, I have a gift that I found and I want to share with all 5 of you, including Cap. Let me see if so. It's technology's a little weird, so hang on a second. I got this. I think. Yeah, don't show those tips again. Okay, whatever. Outstanding. Yeah, we'll show that. Okay.
It's a final! The winners of Mechanicville 55! 54!
Now, I'm not entirely sure I want to know what Colin was probably saying in that moment after the basket, because it's Colin. So, yeah, Elle can attest to this. But I want to thank Tommy Valentine from News 10, because now I can listen to that whenever I want. Be like, oh yeah, Colin gave me a moment. That's cute. Anyways, yeah, that was me yelling like an idiot after he did that.
That's what I said. 18,000 views. He's watched it 17,000 times. So
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Anyways, the like I use, I can talk English. The way I like to usually close interviews, is a little mini segment I like to call "Life's Most Important Questions." I have a set of 5 questions. Y'all just give me the first answer that pops into your mind, or whatever is actually your right answer. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
You can all participate. We'll start with Elle, since she actually is smiling. That's nice. We'll start with you. We'll start with you. We'll work our way across on all these. All right. The first question, and pardon me if I'm interrupting a sponsorship here for the school. Gatorade, Powerade, or other?
Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Other.
Gatorade.
All right. What's the other? What's the other preferred type of energy drink?
Oh, energy drink. Well, I was gonna say water. I like
Knew it.
What a coach. Second question. What goes in the bowl first, the cereal or the milk?
A cereal.
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 You put milk in, you're actually crazy. But I feel like it would all come out.
I have a friend who does that. That's what inspired the question. Next, when it comes to desserts, chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Chocolate.
Wow, split decision. All right. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
Hot dog. Is
Oh,
a hot dog a
no.
sandwich?
No.
No, it's not.
Elle, you need to explain yourself because you just made Cap a very unhappy camper.
Well, I don't know. Like a sandwich with 2 buns. A hot dog has 2 buns. I don't know.
It's one piece of bread still. It just happens to have a slit in it.
Yeah, but if you eat a sandwich with a roll, it's a one roll that you cut in half.
But how do they cut the hot dog buns? I saw a video. Like, how do they cut? Hot dog buns are usually stuck together, right? Like, how do they cut the hot dog buns and then still stuck together? I don't understand that.
Go see if Food Network did an episode of Unwrapped about it. I don't know. Or what's that show on Discovery? Modern Marvels or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a podcast host and a big mouth. I don't know what to tell you. All right, final question. This one might require a little more thought, though. If you were on a deserted island, name the 2 people you would trust most to help you get off the island.
2 people I would trust to get me off the island.
Do I need to know them or like?
No, like random people.
I mean, preferably be people you know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I have my mom and my dad. I don't know.
I would say my older brother Zach and my dad.
I would say my brother and my father.
I don't know if Jacob is the right answer, so you might want to not say him.
Jacob is not the right answer, but Tyler is pretty smart, so probably my dad and Tyler. I would say.
Okay.
Not Jacob.
Any final words or questions, Cap?
I can't believe no one said mom. Or, well, she said mom and dad,
I
but
did. Yeah.
because mom would at least she would settle things down a little bit. Dad would be like, we can't get this boat going. Let's just quit.
My mom would be crying in the corner just with me, so that's why I didn't pick my mom.
To cover for Elle, why do you think she has her mom there? You really think Elle and Ryan are gonna be getting along the whole time?
No.
Thank you.
Mom might say, hey, we need to dig this giant hole over here for something, and we'll figure out what it's for later. But no, I'm thankful that you guys came on, and I really feel like last year, if you had beaten us at Albany Academy, you guys probably would have got back to the state Final Four too. That was the kind of team that you had. So looking forward to hopefully seeing the same thing. We'll just be opposite schedules hopefully this year. You guys are in the same place we are and traveling the same places we are. So wish you guys nothing but luck though going forward, and it's fun to watch you guys play. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'll I'll echo similar sentiments. I was very impressed by. I mean, granted, I only saw the you ladies play in the sectional semis and finals, but I was certainly impressed. I certainly got a full ear about how Tanner and her craziness with her schedule, and I mean, Ryan doesn't stop talking about his kids. So like, I was one that eventually had to tell him to shut up, but whatever. But yeah, and you know, Molly. I mean, the DCN name, it's there. It's in Mechanicville. Like you can't escape it. Much like you can't escape the name Cavada anywhere north of Clifton Park or whatever. But yeah, definitely wish you all the best of luck this upcoming season. And yeah, we'll definitely have you all back at some point. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you.
guys so much.
Nice coach.
Absolutely. New Mechanicville girls head coach Mike Cavada. We also had there from left to right, we had sophomore Tanner Eisman, junior Molly DeSiena, and sophomore Elle Richardson. Yeah, good stuff from them, coach.
Yep. Yeah. Tanner's the one that I watched and was like, I can't believe she's a soccer player. Like, I think if she really focused on basketball and that made that her sport, like the athleticism in her is just, it's there. So wherever she gets it from, maybe it's from mom, dad, brothers, whoever it's from, but she's not going to be fun. And she said she's a sophomore, right? So,
Yep.
so she's probably not fun to play on the soccer field. Like if that's any indication what she's like on the basketball court. So,
and because how many times we've referenced him, I give it about 90 seconds after this show ends. I will get a strongly worded message from either Colin or Ryan Richardson. So whatever. Colin should thank me. I just played the clip of his winning shot. Damn it. Anyways, yeah, I think that does it. You got anything else, Cap?
nope, nothing else right now. Just get a vacation in a couple weeks, and we'll get back to it in September with basketball. So.
Yeah. We know. You got a pack and whatever. Yeah. So that's that. That's episode 21 of 84 Feet with Katie and Cap. Again, thanks, Coach Cavada, Tanner, Molly, and Elle for being on the program. Next couple of shows are going to be pretty good as well. We have a pair of young ladies from Great Witch join the program, and then we're going to be heading on out in my direction. We're going to visit Amsterdam High after that. So a pair of really good episodes coming up in due time. With that all said, go Dogs.
Coming soon.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Oh, by the way, Carson Beck. Yeah,
he's okay. I don't love him, but we'll deal with him.
Okay, all right. Well, that's Cap with the kind of glass half full strategy with Georgia football, I guess, for this season. That all being said, I have no allegiance, so I can't say anything about college football except for whoever gets me a winning betting ticket. Toodles, goodbye.